Let's go ahead and do a very nice meditation. I really like it because it helps us learn something new. So this is my third movement and lesson for you for today. It's standing tall. Standing tall is a very beautiful sentiment. If you know what standing tall means in all its forms, there are so many facets to what standing tall means. So let's begin with a few of them. Without doing anything at all, you can learn a lot from standing, just standing. So let's try that together. With our feet, I want you to feel, where is your weight right now? Is it in the back of the heels? Is it in the front of your foot? Is it on one side or on the other? Try and balance out the weight across the entire foot. Feel that it's even and spread across the entire foot. Why? This isn't about balance as much as it is about neutrality and standing firm and steadfast in our mind. We're not so forward and ambitious that our spirit basically creates future suffering for our body. We're with our body. We don't create beyond our ability. And that also means we're not arrogant. We know when we need the help, and we know where we are right now. We're not avoiding our weight. We're not avoiding our limitations. We're with them. And it's not to say that we are limited by them, but we want to raise the whole of us. We want to be so humble to realize that this is where my strength is right now. Doesn't mean I'm limited by strength, but it also means I have room for more. And I have room for more help. So make sure you're not so far forward on the foot. Lose that ambition. Stay in that central 0 point. And are you back in the heel, kind of waiting around for the things to happen? Again, not assertive enough. We're not passive enough. Here in the center. Are we using our strengths? One side of us could be more strong than the other. So are we relying on our strengths? Or can we also put a little pressure and weight on our weaknesses? Not to avoid them, but to acknowledge that they are there. And it's okay to be weak at some things. Yeah. It's okay to stress and demand from even our weak sides. How else do we expect them to grow? How else do we expect them to grow strong? Do you see how many lessons there are in standing neutral, standing balanced, physiologically, mentally, or even spiritually? Now check out your breath. See your shoulders. Move your hands and your arms. Do you want to move them further to the back? You want to protrude your chest. You want to show you're brave. But hold on a second. Your lungs don't move in one direction. They move in both directions. Check it out. Bring your shoulders together. Breathe here for me for a second. You can feel them inflate, right? Okay. Close them. Now breathe into the back for me. You can feel them inflate in the back too, right? But it may feel a little bit more stuck, right? So again, we learn the sense of humility. From the front, it's easy to show how brave we are. It's easy to show how much our ribcage can expand. But our ribcage is supposed to expand from the back too. Are we also avoiding the things we're unconscious of? Are we only trying to show what we're good at? Or can we be vulnerable enough to show what we're not so good at the back as well? So I want you to move your shoulders in a position where you can feel your breath, your ribcage expand in both directions. So your ribcage is expanding from the back as well as the front. Even if it's harder from the back than the front. Your balloons, your lungs, inflate unconditionally in all directions. Make them feel even. Then you can feel the back pressing. And then exhale down. And you can feel your chest coming down. Lose that arrogance, lose that ambition. You're not better than anyone or anything. Not even than yourself. And then connection. You're not alone, remember? So pull up your spine, like there is a crown here and it's being pulled up high and mighty. You know what this is about? This isn't about alignment or balance. This is about value. This is realizing where you come from. It's not a country. It's not a place. It's not this father or this mother. It's not this culture or these ethics. You came from heaven. I want you to really sink these words into your mind. Bury them very deep. You came from heaven. Do you know the meaning of that weight? That value you hold inside? When someone tells you to your ears, to your heart, that you came from heaven, if you don't feel tears or the trembling of your heart at this point, please connect with it. Because something is telling you that you are bigger than your wildest dreams. Standing tall reminds us of that. This is a connection so divine. And you know, I'm going to tell you something else. People say, and they often mistreat words and language, and they say when you rely on yourself, that means you're not relying on God or something bigger than you. You couldn't be further from the truth. You couldn't be more mistaken. Relying on yourself means you relied on the very things God gave you. This is reliance on God. When you rely on what God gave you, it means you know how to save yourself, because God entrusted you with all the tools you will ever need in your life. Every healing is inside of here, waiting for you to unlock, waiting for you to open. If you take your own life and take yourself out of the picture, you're basically telling God, you know, all this stuff you gave me didn't work. Couldn't save myself. But when you rely on yourself, you are relying on the very gifts God gave you. You rely on the very gifts heaven descended upon you. This is what standing tall means. It's not standing tall above others. It's standing tall in union, and realizing that every one of us should stand tall because we all came from that same place. We all descended from that same heaven. We are the people, the civilization of heaven, descended onto the earth. In the spirit inside us, we have that. So when you stand tall, you hold that mind. You crescent it into your heart. This is standing tall. Do you see how much even stillness can bring you? Knees can be bent slightly, or knees can be bent straight. Whatever helps you feel in alignment. That's okay. That part's okay. Mostly focusing on this part here. Because if you lock your knees, sometimes you don't feel your legs, right? I want you to feel your feet still planted like the first part. Breathing on both sides. Balance with the arms. Balance with the weight. We are the children of heaven. Isn't that such a powerful statement in itself that you can learn from simply standing and standing tall? It's not about boasting. It's not about hiding. It's not about being too ambitious. I can do it. It's not about sitting back and just letting things come to you either. This is a 0 point in neutrality in knowing that you can go when you want, that you can sit when you want, that you don't need to boast all the time, but that you can. And you don't need to hide all the time your unconscious weaknesses, but you can. But I choose to stand center and stand tall. Go ahead and rub your hands together. And cover your eyes. Rubbing your face. Rubbing your head. Rubbing your neck. Rubbing your shoulders. Rubbing your chest. All the way down.